and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. My name's Chris and it's fantastic to have you back with us for another video. And in today's video, we are going to be looking at Cardano. We recently did an interview with Charles Hoskinson, the founder of Cardano. If you haven't seen it already, it's definitely worth checking it out. I'll link it in the description of this video. But we are going to take a look at a snippet of that. Now, the media has picked out a few little snippet bits, so we're going to use those and cover them in today's video. If you enjoy this sort of content, mash up the like button, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, tap in that bell, selecting all the notifications so you never miss a video. Don't forget to jump in the Discord. It's absolutely free. We'd love to see you there. Over 4,500 people talking about crypto 24/7, supporting one another, navigate the space safely. Right, let's get down to the desktop. Okay, so we're going to start on coin market cap here. The total market cap of crypto is down 0.92%, almost 1%, at $934.99 billion. Now, Cardano is ranked 8th by market cap, down 2.20% at the time of recording, at 45 cent for. And yeah, look, really interesting, right? One of the things that has been pulled out by the media from our interview with Charles is the fact that we talked about Hydra, and Charles obviously said Hydra is everything Lightning wanted to be when it grew or grows up, right? And it's an interesting article, and I will link this in our Discord for you to go take a read of. But better than that, I'm gonna get the snippet that this article is talking about, let you have a listen to it, and then I'll give my views and opinions. So let's go see what Charles actually had to say.
Yeah, so when you look at things like Mithril, Hydra, these are extensions of known concepts. So like Mithril is a threshold signature idea, and they construct these proof certificates, and then when you do transactions, they're paired with proof certificates, and it gives you the inclusive accountability. It's like, okay, great. It's not a new idea. It's like 10 years of talking about this stuff. We just implemented it. It's a lot of hard cryptography to implement, but once it's done, it's done. And it's more about how do you distribute the certificates and build them. Hydra is everything Lightning wanted to be when it grows up. The problem with Lightning is that it's not hard protocol, payment channels and state channels. The hard part is the fact that Bitcoin is not programmable. So 95% of your effort is trying to figure out how do you get a model that's not designed for this to work with this. It's almost like when they were upgrading the Hubble telescope in space. After you've launched a telescope into space, it's not upgradable anymore. But yet NASA's like, well, we need to fix it. So they sent astronauts out there and they put this giant contact lens on it, and they had to figure out how to open shit that you really can only open on Earth in space. So you had this guy like basically wearing an oven mitt with a very tiny screwdriver, like floating in space, trying to unscrew a panel and like gradually upgrade old circuitry and make it better without getting himself killed. So that's Bitcoin in a nutshell when you try to apply Lightning. Well, Cardano, we're on Earth. Okay, it's programmable, meaning that we can always go and pull a module out, put a new module in, and do these things. So, with extended UTXO and Plutus, there's enough there that you can build rich isomorphic state channels. So basically, you can take state and assets, and you can batch and bundle them together and put them into a layer 2 solution. And then you can use it for microtransactions. You can use it for smart contracts, but then you can build modules on top of it to do specific applications like DEXs, voting, these types of things. In particular, one area I'm very interested to use Hydra in 2023 is to reuse that technology to do all the stuff we're doing right now with Catalyst and voting. There we have a situation where we're running a whole blockchain to bundle all those things together, the Jormungandr chain. But that was always a temporary thing. And we were trying to figure out, well, do we bring it on chain or not? Problem is, you bring it on chain, it's a ton of bloat. You have millions of transactions and all this privacy toxic waste you have to put in to keep the ballots private. And that's gigabytes of data every time you hold an election. And you want to hold a lot of elections. Well, what if you could do it all off chain in a layer 2 network that batches and bundles, and then it creates an aggregate that you put on chain that's a small data payload, but then you can verify at any given time that those votes were counted correctly. Well, that's what Hydra does in a nutshell. And it can do it for a smart contract. It can do it for a payment. It can do it for an asset. So what we thought was really important is to treat Hydra like an applied research program. So what we did is we got a small team. We got dApp developers like Sunday Swap and others, and we said, build it with us. So as we build, you integrate, and we talk back and forth, and we de-risk parts of the protocol. And then we have a 3-4 week release cycle. So if you go to Hydra's GitHub repository, the entire release schedule's there on the project page, and you see the releases that we've done and the capabilities each release has, and we'll work our way up over a reasonable period of time to a 1.0. That's a good foundation for a dApp developer to take and integrate into their infrastructure for a lot of the off-chain stuff that they do. Now, who will run that infrastructure? Well, the way we designed it, stake pool operators can, and the developers themselves can, and other people can, and it just becomes another augmentation to Cardano. And what's cool is it's a foundation for other protocols, like a tail protocol for microtransactions or a voting protocol or these types of things, which are specific case and utilities for it. And you kind of know that you get a lot of guarantees with this system. So, it's slow to start because you have to do a lot of applied research, but once that research is over and done and you have a strong foundation, it's easy for people to take it and build dApps on top of it. And it's just another tool like Mithril that you have as you think about, how do I build an ecosystem around this?
So that was Charles Hoskinson, and I think he made some very, very valid points when it came to what he was talking about when it came to Hydra. Now, for those of you that don't know, the way I would describe Hydra is a bit like a layer 2 to support with scaling on the Cardano ecosystem. And I've talked about scaling solutions and layer 2s being required on various different protocols, right, including Cardano. So my view on layer 2s at the moment is that a lot of influencers and a lot of individuals are heavily focused on layer 2 protocols for Ethereum, and then neglecting other protocol layer 2s. And I think that you're going to see some for Cardano. So definitely start researching layer 2s, ZK rollups and all this sort of technology. I think it's going to be very, very important. And I think these are going to be the types of projects where there's going to be big potential gains in the next bull cycle. So, keep an eye out and don't just focus on the Ethereums. Just my opinion. It's not financial advice. You got to go do you, I'll do me. And, you got to make your own investment decisions is basically what I'm saying here. I'm not a financial advisor. Treat this as educational purposes only. But I do think that layer 2 solutions are going to be required on many different layer 1 protocols. So, take it with a pinch of salt, go do some research, and, you'll see what I mean. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Nick and myself are actually in London today. We've got another big interview with Dr. 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘 and David Hansen as well. All part of the Singularity Net group or foundation. I don't know how you describe it, but really exciting about that, and working on some big interviews coming towards the end of this year. So stay tuned. If you haven't subscribed already, definitely subscribe. It's going to be worth it. We keep you up to date on everything crypto related. And if you enjoyed today's video, mash up that like button, and I will catch you in the next one. Take care.